I told him I had a plan. I'm gonna do this, this, and that. And I stuck to the plan. I said, I'm gonna see you last. I didn't lie. I just stuck to what I felt in my spirit and what to do, you know, and that's what I did.
And I think you're good at what you do, you know, that like, yeah, it's good. I like it.
I just, like I said, I seen him picking up steam. Like he was, you know, making noise. And I felt like he got to the point where like it's time to run it, you know? I feel like he's coming into his own. I am myself. And I felt like it was the perfect time.
But I always knew that.
Stronger than me? No, you weren't strong. You punched like a girl.
Ryan Garcia and Conor Benn came face-to-face in a heated stare-down that nearly turned into an all-out brawl, setting the stage for their explosive September 12 showdown in Las Vegas.
Telling you, it's gonna be one of those things where it's like butter. I cut him off and boom. You're gonna see, like, it's gonna be one of those performances that people will be like, all right, Ryan's here. He's here to stay, and he definitely made it clear that he's not somebody to play with.
Like a master
Especially
class.
as a world champion. Yeah, it's gonna be one of those vintage knockouts. You know, remember I said my last fight, it's gonna be a you know, RG classic. This is gonna be a throwback RG where he gets knocked out cold.
Left hook?
I don't know. You'll see.
You're saying about 5th round, right? That's what you were feeling?
5 rounds and below.
Ben is equally confident about what he can produce on fight night, approaching the matchup with the same aggressive intent that has defined his rise. Rather than simply answering Garcia's prediction, he has his own emphatic vision for how the contest could unfold.
I don't plan on this fight going the distance. I plan on going in there and getting a stoppage, for sure.
Is there anything tactically, without giving too much away, that
Mate, I'm just going to go in there and do what I do, which is plant one on his chin and try and put him to sleep.
Garcia, however, sees that aggressive intent creating problems for Ben if the fight begins to stretch into the later rounds. He expects certain weaknesses to become more visible as the contest develops, adding another layer to his confidence in the matchup.
Look it, man. It's gonna be real ugly for you. You're gonna hope it ends in 5 and below like I'm predicting. You're gonna hope, because if it goes any longer and you get tired like you did Rodriguez and you start getting sloppy, I'm not no Regis, brother. I'm gonna spank you, and it's gonna be like I took off a belt, I put water on it, and I slap you in the face with it. Like it's gonna, ow, ow. It's gonna be bad.
Why the water then?
Because it makes it pow harder.
Oh, okay.
Against Garcia's bold prediction, Ben projects a different kind of confidence, keeping his attention on preparation rather than the pre-fight battle. He expects that work behind the scenes to make the difference once they share the ring.
He spoke to Mike Coppinger last Friday, and he said he'll be disappointed if it goes the distance and he doesn't stop you inside 5 rounds. Yeah, do you feel like he's overlooking you, or any response to what he said there?
I don't care what he's doing. Yeah. Like, it makes no difference. He can carry on doing what he's doing. It don't concern me at all. All I know is that I'm working extremely hard to come out victorious. And no doubt I'll be looking for the stoppage myself. No doubt.
Yeah. Do you think you break him in there?
I think I'll stop him, yeah. I do.
But Garcia sees Ben's confidence very differently, questioning whether his recent success truly reflects the level of opposition he is about to face. He expects the contrast in experience and technical ability to become increasingly important once the fight settles into its rhythm. From Garcia's perspective, that difference could shape the entire matchup.
Playing into that a little too much. I mean, if you watch the fights, look it, he won them, but there's nothing that I see in any of those fights that makes me believe that he's at this level. And I think that there's going to be a clear distinction on, you know, on the difference in experience, talent, and just levels of boxing in the ring. You know, he's going to be getting hit with punches he usually doesn't get hit with. He's going to see a lot of the attempts he does. It's not going to work. You know, all he has is conditioning, I guess, and even when he has conditioning, he starts throwing sloppy in the later round.
Beyond their contrasting predictions, Ben also faces the physical challenge of returning to 147 pounds after 4 years away from the division. He acknowledges the discipline required and sees this as his final appearance at welterweight before moving to 154 and potentially beyond.
Yeah, it's hard, it's brutal. This is my last fight at 147.
Your last fight, what?
This is my last fight at 147. When I win the world title, I'll move on. But for me, yeah, I haven't made 147 for 4 years, so it's challenging. Don't get me wrong, it's really hard. You think I went up to 183 pounds for the Eubank fights, you know, so it's hard, but you know, we're getting it done.
Yeah. So after this fight, we'll be going up to 154 pounds then.
154, 160, 168.
Looking beyond the pre-fight predictions, Ben is keeping his approach centered on his own performance rather than reading too much into Garcia's previous fights. His confidence comes from preparation and the standard he expects from himself on fight night. For Ben, everything else remains secondary.
When you see him finish fights like that, does that give you confidence when you talk about yourself putting in 110%?
No, I mean, I just like I don't think about what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I just focus on being the best fighter I can be, making sure that I'm in the best nick when I go into the fight, and when I see an opportunity to knock him out, I'm gonna take it.
Max Kellerman sees Garcia's natural ability as one of the most intriguing factors surrounding this matchup. He argues that exceptional talent can become even more dangerous when it is matched by the discipline required at the elite level. That balance could determine just how much of Garcia's potential appears against Ben.
Has the curse of the gifted. He's very gifted, and so he does not need to work as hard as other people.
He's gotta work hard.
But what I'm saying is, no. What I'm saying is, when you get the guy who's the most talented and he works the hardest, you're talking about Michael Jordan. There are very few of those guys. You're talking about Floyd Mayweather. No. You're talking about Bud Crawford. You're talking about the best of the best.
Taking a much stronger position, Paulie Malignaggi sees a significant separation between Garcia and Ben in overall boxing ability. He expects Garcia's skill set to become particularly difficult to deal with if he enters fully focused and performs to his potential. This matchup represents an opportunity for Garcia to reinforce exactly where he stands.
Ryan knocks him out. The fight doesn't go 6 rounds, in my opinion. Ryan knocks him out.
Why is that? Is that the disparity in skill?
Yeah, I mean, disparity in skill, disparity in power. I don't think Conor Benn's that good, bro. I think it's obvious he's not that good, but, you know, Ryan Garcia is a very good fighter. You know, when he's motivated and he's pushing himself, and I think, you know, as a champion, Ryan will understand the responsibility on his shoulders as well to elevate his game. He's already at a very good level. He's already a very good fighter, but this fight is an opportunity for him to make a statement because he's fighting a guy who's got a big name, but also a guy who probably doesn't belong in the ring with him. And so I think he's got a chance to do something of a statement in this fight by getting, you know, a massive destructive type of victory. And I think that that's probably what happens in the fight.
Building on Garcia's recent development, Keith Thurman sees signs that his offense is becoming less dependent on a single weapon. He points to a broader attacking arsenal beginning to emerge, giving Garcia more ways to create openings and threaten opponents. That continued evolution could add another dimension to Garcia's approach against Ben.
We'll see, man, because, you know, a left hook is still a left hook. You know, Ryan does have that left hook. I mean, Tank said, all you got is that left hook. That's what Tank said back in the day. You know, all you got is that left hook, you know. But we've seen Ryan drop people not just with left hooks to the chin, but left hooks to the body. And I think he landed a straight right on Mario Barrios early on in the last fight. Yeah. So you know, maybe he's learning to develop that hand to be a lethal weapon as well, you know. What I love about these younger guys is as they continue to fight, they really have that room to improve.
Turning the attention to Ben, Keith Thurman sees his physical strength and aggressive style as qualities that cannot be overlooked. However, he questions how that approach will translate when the technical demands increase against more refined opposition. That contrast is what makes Ben's next test particularly revealing.
I mean, a rhino ain't nothing but a charging bull full of muscle. You know what I mean? And I'm still scared of rhinos, you know, so like, it's not that you know, it's not that it's a guaranteed loss for a fighter of that type of caliber, right? It's not a guaranteed loss, but at the highest level, you will run into skillful opposition, you know, and, but it's going to be interesting. You know, I don't think that the Ryan that fought that fought Rolly was the real Ryan. I think the Ryan we saw last time.
Floyd Schofield Jr. leans toward Garcia because he sees more dimensions to his game. However, he also recognizes that both fighters pose enough offensive danger to quickly shift the momentum if either creates the right opening. That balance makes Schofield less certain about exactly how the contest will be decided.
I got Ryan Garcia, Team Golden Boy. I like Conor Benn, no disrespect to Conor Benn. I just think Ryan has more attributes to his game. I do think, though, if Conor Benn catches him with a nice shot, some nice flurries, it could be a change of that fight. Almost something similar to that Rolly fight. Just a little more, Conor Benn has a little more pressure. But I'm going with Ryan for that fight.
Yeah, you feel like he stops him?
It could. Like I said, boxing is boxing. Anybody can stop anybody. So do I favor a knockout over decision? No. But I do think Ryan possesses the power and the speed to catch him with a nice shot just as much as Conor does.
Floyd Schofield Jr. refuses to dismiss what Benn brings to the matchup. He sees Benn's combination of physical tools and forward pressure as capable of creating uncomfortable moments, particularly while Garcia is finding his rhythm. That uncertainty is why Schofield still views Benn as a genuine threat, despite favoring Garcia.
Well, I mean, we can't count Conor Benn out. Conor Benn is a champion. I mean, he's a world-class fighter. He has some skill, he has power, he has speed, and he has aggression. Something that we've seen with Ryan, you know that Ryan sometimes can't, it takes him a while to get adjusted to that. So we can't count Conor out. I mean, that'd be disrespectful to a fighter like Conor. We just have to see come fight night who's a better man. And like I said, I favor Ryan, but I mean, Conor does have a big chance at winning the fight too.
Duke McKenzie comes down much more firmly on Garcia's side of that debate. He views Garcia's development and experience against stronger opposition as major advantages, while questioning whether Benn can close the gap technically or physically at 147 pounds. Overcoming Garcia may require something beyond Benn's usual strengths.
Even his A-game, I'm not so sure, would beat Ryan Garcia, because Garcia is a much improved champion now. Since getting that belt wrapped around his waist, I think he's a much improved champion. He's mixed at a higher level. All right, he hasn't won all of his fights, Garcia, but he's beaten some quality fighters that are much better than Conor Benn. I mean, Conor's done a great job in terms of A, getting paid, and B, talking himself into a world title fight. I don't know who does that. I don't know who's done that before, previously, but he's managed to do it. Now, for him to beat Ryan Garcia, it will take more than just, it's going to take more than just boxing skill, and it's going to take more than just a big punch. I don't think Conor Benn's going to be physically strong enough, because I think it'd be weight drained. I'm not making excuses for him, you understand, but I think it'd be weight drained.
Spencer Oliver sees Benn's move back to 147 pounds as one of the biggest uncertainties surrounding the fight. He points to Benn's stronger showings at higher weight and questions whether dropping back down could affect what he brings into the ring. For Oliver, that physical adjustment may prove just as important as the tactical matchup with Garcia.
Spence, has he got a built-in excuse, which basically means, and am I being cynical here, because he won't be thinking like this as a fighter, but if he goes down to 147 and Ryan Garcia deals with him, he can turn around and say, I was washed out of this fight at this weight. I thought I could do it. I can't. Notwithstanding it, I had a go. And does he still retain credibility if Garcia does him early?
Of course he does, because that's what we're all talking about. Conor Benn not being able to make 147. We saw Eddie Hearn saying it recently. The 147 is the thing that will beat Conor Benn. So of course he's got a get out clause, because straight away I'm coming back at 154. That's where I'm going to be stronger, because the best we've ever seen Conor Benn look, whether it was a weight drained, people say washed up Chris Eubank or not, when you looked at that, Conor Benn was entertaining in both of those fights. He showed us a lot of character there, but that was up at 160. We're talking about a stone lighter here.
Abel Sanchez, however, sees considerably less separating the two fighters. Garcia's consistency remains a question, while Benn's return to 147 introduces uncertainty on the opposite side. For Sanchez, whichever man manages those variables more effectively could ultimately gain the advantage.
That's an interesting fight. It's two guys that have been talking a lot, I guess. Ryan has just had a great fight with Barrios. He looked very good, but then he didn't look so good against Rolly. So it depends on which Garcia shows up. I think Ben coming down, hopefully he's doing it correctly. It doesn't weaken him. I look for a late knockout actually in this fight. Either way, I'm not picking one guy or the other because if the right Conor Benn shows up weight-wise, then he could be too strong for Garcia. But if Garcia cracks him, he can hit, so it's a 50-55 for me.
Timothy Bradley then identifies one reason Benn cannot be overlooked: the threat he carries when exchanges become physical. He sees Benn's punching power as something that could make Garcia more cautious, particularly given previous moments when dangerous punchers have disrupted his comfort. That creates a tactical opening Benn may be able to exploit.
But now he's fighting against an orthodox fighter, not a southpaw, you know, and Ryan Garcia, a guy that I feel that is somewhat get a little bit spooked by punching power, right? Right? Didn't we see that with the Rolly fight? You know?
Rolly at that.
Yeah, exactly. Rolly at that. Yeah. I mean, Ben can punch.
Or if Rolly gets through, he can hurt you.
Yeah.
Rolly has heavy hands.
But also, I think Conor Benn at the same time, I think he can punch as well. I mean, you heard Reach's program after the fight. Look at his face. He said that, hey, he punches hard. But hey, I wanted to be in the fight. I wanted to be here, and that's the reason why I was able to take his shots. But, you know, I think it's a different style moving forward.
Are you saying that you don't think he's going to get up for the Ryan?
No, he going to get up for the fight. I'm just saying I'm not going to use that as an excuse of him not performing.
Yeah, but you know what? Wait a minute, Tim.
I think he knew what he was supposed to do. He knew the assignment. The assignment was to get him out of there, and he didn't do it.
Timothy Bradley sees danger for both fighters because their strengths directly collide. Benn's pressure, durability, and right hand could force Garcia into uncomfortable exchanges, while Garcia possesses a major weapon capable of disrupting that approach. The outcome may depend on which fighter can impose his offense without walking into the other man's biggest threat.
I believe it's not going the distance. I think somebody's going to get knocked out. I think both their styles, when you match them up, like I told you early on, you got Benn who can punch, right? And anybody that can punch always tends to put Ryan on the defense, right? We haven't seen that scary shell. Remember, Barrios couldn't punch like that, you know, when he turns his back like this and going that scary shell.
Luke Campbell dropped him too.
Luke Campbell dropped him. But I feel like
Luke Campbell, Olympic gold medalist, by the way.
Yes. I feel like Benn has a chance because he has a right hand, good right hand, a strong right hand. I think the pressure that he puts on
he has an engine.
Well, yeah, he keeps going, and you see the will that he has.
Connor's mental is strong. Yeah,
he's mentally strong. However, look. If he gets past that left hook, he got to get past that left hook, man.
Teofimo Lopez strengthens the case for Benn from a different angle, focusing on his response to adversity rather than pure technique. He has been impressed by Benn's ability to return from difficult performances with greater purpose instead of allowing setbacks to define him. That resilience leaves Lopez open to the possibility of an upset.
I think we're going to get an example of what it is. You always hear the saying where they say it's easier to get the belt, but then it's harder to keep it, right? So you always hear that type of saying, and maybe Ryan right now might find out that, right? Ideally, in the business aspect, everyone wants to see Ryan win. But Conor Benn is hungry. He's in there. He's in the gym every day. He's speaking Spanish to the man, and he's not even Spanish. So, you know, he's not Hispanic. So I think those things show the determination and what it means to Conor Benn. You know, when he didn't look so great against Ubik the first time, he came back with vengeance the second time. So definitely Conor Benn is no pushover, man. Look, I said it before, I think Conor Benn might pull the upset. We just have to wait and see, man.
Is Conor Benn on that level? Because I see guys like Shakur and Ryan, they seem like you're just not on this level.
Adding another vote for Garcia, Gary Russell Jr. has been encouraged by the improvements he has seen in his recent performances. He points to a more polished and controlled version of Garcia, with cleaner, more efficient execution that complements his natural offensive tool. That progress is enough for Russell to give Garcia a slight advantage against Benn.
August 22nd, Teofimo Lopez, Rolly Romero.
Man, August 22nd, I'm thinking about Gary Antonio Russell going for this.
He's on the card.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? We about to make history. Just for the record, it's never been 3 homegrown American brothers to ever have titles. You know what I'm saying? So just a fun fact. So my little brother, Gary Antonio Russell, win this on the 22nd, we'll make history, man. So stay tuned, man. Fingers crossed, fingers crossed. But as far as as far as Rolly and Teofimo, I think that's gonna be a good ass fight. I think they're both entertaining as fuck inside and outside the ring. They both entertaining inside and out the ring. I think it's a 50-50 fight.
Yeah.
I think that's a 50 fight, man. I don't know. May the best man win. And I like both of them too.
Yeah. It's a good fight. I like it. Does the fight go the distance?
I don't know. Rolly got some thump. If Teofimo Lopez get reckless, I can see Rolly clipping his ass. I can see Rolly clipping his ass with something. Rolly got some thump.
Yeah. And what you think about September 12th, Ryan Garcia and Conor Benn?
Focusing more closely on the stylistic matchup, Greg Hackett sees Benn's aggressive approach potentially creating opportunities for Garcia to exploit. He views Garcia's combination of hand speed and punching ability as particularly dangerous against a fighter who can leave openings while pressing forward. That dynamic is why Hackett ultimately leans toward Garcia, producing a decisive result.
I think it's a great fight, but I think if Ryan go out there looking like anything like his last fight, I think he'll stop Conor Benn. I don't think Conor Benn is defensive enough. I like his intensity level, but his defense don't really handle defense. And Ryan's speed gives anybody problems. And then he can punch too. So I think Ryan stopped Conor Benn on some real shit.
Hackett's concerns extend beyond Benn's defensive openings, as he also questions the complexity of his overall style. He sees Benn as physically strong but relatively straightforward in the way he moves in and out of range. For Hackett, that simplicity raises questions about how effective Benn's approach will be against Garcia.
Is it the weight? Because he looked good against Eubank.
Yeah, I think it could be the weight, but also I think it's just his style. His style is not really that complicated. It's a simple style, and the things he do is simple. He jump in, jump out. You know what I mean? Jump in, jump out. It's like fighting a strong amateur. It's just like being in there with a strong amateur.
Garcia versus Benn has all the ingredients for a high-stakes battle where one mistake could change everything. Can Benn's pressure disrupt Garcia's rhythm, or will Garcia's speed and timing take control? Who are you backing when they finally share the ring? Drop your prediction below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more boxing coverage.